Buenas tardes, clase. Today we're going to be talking about something a little different but equally important in order to be successful in Spanish class this year. We're going to be talking about the difference between translators and dictionaries. Essentially, using your Google app versus your Word reference app to complete your written Spanish homework. Translators are going to get us in trouble this year, and I want to make sure we understand the difference between translators and dictionaries so that we can both have a fun and successful year this year. Let's say that you get this homework from Miss Weiss. Write 5 sentences that describe your weekend, and I translated that sentence there. This is a very common homework assignment. I will often give you a topic and say, write about it using what we've learned or gone over in class. Maybe we studied the preterite tense, and I want you to tell me what you did this weekend to show me that you understand the preterite tense. So, as any good Spanish student, you will start thinking about what you did this weekend, and you'll start writing your homework. So, we write homework on the top, and we start writing our homework. Maybe we start out by saying, and I'm translating here, first I went to my friend's house, and I spent the weekend there. Great sentence. We know about fui, that's the past tense of to go, spent, the past tense of pasar, all things that we know and have gone over in class. This is an example of a great sentence that you wrote yourself. Now, for instance, we're writing our second sentence, and maybe we want to say, I wish I had done my homework, because maybe, like many students, you procrastinated until the last minute. You think to yourself, I don't quite know how to say that sentence. So you go to Google and you type in Google Translate, and here comes the translation. You type in your English text here and your Spanish will appear here. So we type in, I wish I had done my homework, and this pops up. Me hubiera gustado haber hecho los deberes. So then you copy this sentence and paste it right into your homework. There it is. So then we continue writing our homework, and maybe we talk about going to a restaurant to celebrate a birthday, we watch TV, so on and so forth. This looks good, we've double checked everything, so we turn it into Miss Weiss. We get it back the next day, and you have a 0 out of 20 on your paper, meaning that you got 0 points out of the 20 that were offered, and it says, please see me after class, which unfortunately is rarely good news for students. And you're probably thinking to yourself, how did I get a 0? I wrote this whole sentence by myself. I wrote this whole paragraph by myself. What happened? Well, it was this sentence. We used Google Translate to get us this sentence, and let me be very clear. This sentence is plagiarized. Let's take a look at why that is. If we were to break apart the sentence to try and explain the grammar parts, we would say that me is an indirect object pronoun. However, you do not learn indirect object pronouns until Spanish 3. If we take a look at hubiera gustado, this is a compound tense. It's actually the imperfect subjunctive perfect tense, and it is not something that you learn until you're in college. Then the rest of the sentence, haber los deberes, deberes is a vocab word that we really don't know, and haber, again, is used for compound tenses. So this whole sentence is really advanced Spanish grammar and not something that a Spanish 2 student would know based on the level of Spanish that you have right now. Therefore, it is plagiarized. It is not your own work, and it was copy and pasted from the internet onto your homework. Let's take a look again at why did I fail. I want to make sure that we're really clear on my expectations for you this year. Number 1, you failed this assignment because, like I said, it was not your work. You did not work out those different grammar points on your own. You simply put something into an online application and copy and pasted the answer into your homework. This would be the same as if you were writing an English paper and you went onto a website and you copied a sentence or two about a book report and put it in your English paper. Or maybe you put a math equation into Google and copied down the steps and the answer into your notebook. It's not your work, therefore it is plagiarized. Number 2, you could not explain the work to me. Like I said, I went through the sentence and pointed out all the different grammar points to you, and we realized that all of the grammar in that sentence was way beyond a Spanish 2 level student. It was Spanish 3, a little bit of Spanish 4, and a lot of university or college Spanish. You could not have explained that work to me. Therefore, again, it's not your own, and unfortunately, it's considered plagiarized. Just like if you plagiarized in an English or history class, the consequences are the same. It's a 0 on the assignment. I would call home and talk to your family about it, and then we would all meet with the principal to discuss the consequences of this decision. So please, I cannot stress this enough, when you are doing your Spanish written homework, please do not use Google Translate. It is plagiarism. Going back to our homework after we had written this sentence, if we had done something different, the results would have been a lot different too. I know what you're thinking. What do I do when I don't know words or phrases and I'm writing my Spanish homework? Please use word reference. I understand that you are going to write things and you're going to need vocab words or different verbs that we haven't learned in class, and using word reference is okay. It is recommended and it will make you very successful in Spanish class this year. So let's take a look at what we should have done. We go to wordreference.com, or you can open up the app on your phone or tablet, and we type in the word that we want to know here. For instance, if we go back to the original sentence we were talking about, wish, make sure it's English to Spanish because we're typing in an English word and we want a Spanish answer. And then we click on the search button. And here we have lots of different options for what wish could be. And we need to think to ourselves, what wish am I thinking about here? It would probably be desear or querer if we take a look at the definition and examples here. Once we have our verb selected, a really cool feature of word reference is if you click on desear and then you click on this button, conjugator, it comes up with all the different conjugations of this word. Now we have only learned the present, imperfect, and preterite. We have not learned any of these down here, so you would have to think to yourself, what tense do I want to communicate? The present, I wish, imperfect, I used to wish, or the preterite, I wished. You would make your decision from there. And that is doing your own work. You looked up the word, then you looked up the conjugator, and you decided based on the information that you know from Spanish class which verb is appropriate. Then we can do the same thing for homework. There's lots of different ways that we could say homework. We've learned tarea in class, so I'd probably use tarea. And you notice that it's a feminine noun, so your adjectives would have to match that along with your articles. And once you've written that part of the sentence, you would put the whole thing together into a sentence that is your own, that you have written. That is an example of doing your own work in Spanish class and not simply putting something into an online translator and copying and pasting. So, to be clear, anytime that translators are used in this class, it will result in plagiarism, and the consequences of plagiarism at our school will follow. So don't do it. Instead, use word reference. You will find yourself being so much more successful in my class if you use this app. Please let me know if you have any questions because we will be going over this in detail more tomorrow. Have a great day and we will see you tomorrow. Buenas tardes.